Welcome back to the Dr. Jonette channel. Today we are making Mexican rice using pink rice instead of brown rice or white rice. Pink rice as well as brown rice are better for your brain as well as your gut. And we're going to talk about that a little later in the video. So make sure you watch all the way to the end and let's get cooking. We're going to start by blending up the tomatoes, the garlic, and the onions. I've got about 2 cups of my homemade canned tomatoes from my garden. These are delicious organic tomatoes that I grew and canned myself. In addition to that, I'm adding 1 small onion that I've cut up into quarters, and I'm adding 4 cloves of roasted garlic. You probably may not have roasted garlic, which is fine. If you don't have roasted garlic, just add 2 cloves of regular whole fresh garlic. And we're gonna blend that up in a Blendtec blender. I love this blender. It does such a great job at blending all kinds of things, everything from ice to what we're blending today. If you want to find, when you go to my website, Grow with Dr. Jonette, click on the shop button and you can search for Blendtec blender, and I've got a link there where you can purchase it. We've got that all blended up, and we want about 2 cups total. And I can see here on the side of, I got a little bit on the top, not a problem. On the side here that I've got just right at 2 cups of liquid of blended tomatoes, onions, and garlic here in my blender. I'm gonna set that aside. For the next step, we're gonna go ahead and toast the rice in a little oil. So I'm adding, what you want to do is use a tablespoon of oil per cup of rice. I've just added 2 tablespoons of oil here, and I have 2 cups of my red rice. I want that oil to mostly coat them, and it looks like I'm going to need, well, no, I think we probably have close to enough. Yeah, as I stir it around, they're getting coated. You only need to cook it for about 2, maybe 3 minutes at the most. When it's cooking, when it's toasting, you may hear it pop, make a little popping sound. That's fine. Just kind of keep it stirring around until it's a little on the toasted side to help completely coat the rice with the oil, and the rice during the toasting process also absorbs a little bit of the oil as well, helping it be a really fluffy rice. For my simplest smart tip, do you like super fluffy, easy to separate rice instead of that big mass of gummy rice? The way to achieve that is to toast your rice before you add the liquid, before you cook it. For each cup of rice, you're going to want about a tablespoon of olive oil. Get the oil nice and hot so it's kind of shimmering in your pot. Add the rice and stir it around and toast it like I'm doing here. And when you're done cooking it, then you will have super fluffy, easy to separate, delicious rice. The other trick for making sure your rice stays fluffy is to not stir it while you're cooking it, as stirring it tends to release some of the gluten substances. Glutinous, it's not really gluten, but the glutinous substance from the rice, the gummy substance from the rice, and it may stick together a little bit more. If this information was helpful so far, thank you for watching, and make sure you sign up for notifications. Ring that notification bell so that you don't miss any of our great recipes that are healthy for your brain and your body. So our rice is cooked here, or toasted. We've got about 3 minutes of toasting here. And I'm going to go ahead now and add I'm going to add my spices first. I've got a teaspoon of cumin, a spoon of salt, and you want to use low sodium vegetable broth, and a teaspoon of chili pepper. I'm going to stir them around, and then I'm going to just add my jalapenos. I've diced up a half of a jalapeno. You can put more in if you like more heat. This is about right for me as far as the heat. Your 2 cups of pureed tomato, and we gotta stir that in a little bit there. Turn that down a bit maybe. And your 3 cups of vegetable broth. And stir that all up, and I'm actually going to turn that back up, let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to put the lid on it, turn it down to simmer, leave it undisturbed for 45 or so minutes, and let it just cook. Put the lid on it. It's not quite boiling, but very close. And we're going to let it simmer for 45 minutes. While it's simmering, let's talk about our Neuro Nutrition Nugget. For our Neuro Nutrition Nugget today, we're going to talk about brown rice or whole grain rice. It could be brown rice, pink rice, or even black rice. All of them are better for you than white rice. And why is that? Most people don't know the difference between brown rice and white rice, or your whole grains rice. What is the actual difference? Your whole grain rice is exactly that, a whole grain. It has the hull removed, but it still has the bran and the sperm and the endosperm. White rice only has the endosperm, and it has the bran as well as the germ removed. So what that does for your brain and your body is, when you eat it, it does a number of great things, both for your gut and your brain. Keeping your gut healthy is important because your gut makes about 30 or more neurotransmitters for your brain. So you want to keep your gut healthy in addition to keeping your brain healthy. Brown rice helps you keep your gut healthy by being a prebiotic. The fiber in the brown rice does a couple of things in your gut. Number one is that it helps with your digestion. It helps with motility of your gut. It helps keeping the things moving through your gut. And number two, it is food for your gut's microbiome. Those are all of the fabulous bugs, the microbacteria, as well as some fungus and viruses even, that are healthy for your gut, that your gut needs to help you digest your food, make all those neurotransmitters, keep your immune system strong, as well as make vitamins for your body. So a healthy gut helps have a healthy brain. And your gut and brain are in constant communication. In fact, your gut is sending more messages to your brain than your brain sends to your gut. So eating things like brown rice, red rice, whole grains helps keep your gut healthy, which in turn helps give your brain what it needs in terms of glucose as well as neurotransmitters. My timer just went off and our rice should be perfectly cooked. Let's take a peek and see how it looks. As you can see, the grains are nicely separated. I'm going to go ahead and fluff it up a little bit here. It isn't quite as red as sometimes your Mexican rice is, because in part it's a pink rice, so the rice is naturally pink, and the tomatoes do make it a little pinker, but not quite as much of a contrast as when you are using a white rice. There's a little bit of liquid left in the bottom, and that's okay. When I scoop it out, I'll try to leave most. I'm gonna get a spoon that is got some holes in it so that I can leave the extra liquid left in the bottom. You may want to adjust the amount of liquid that you use if you're using this pink rice. Maybe use only 2.5 cups of your vegetable broth instead of the 2 cups. But either way, it's delicious. You can see it's nice and fluffy. And I'm gonna go ahead and just dish some up here into the bowl. And we're having Mexican rice tonight. We're actually making vegan burrito bowls. The grandkids are coming over, and my daughter and her husband are vegan, so we're making some vegan burrito bowls. You can see there is some extra liquid in the bottom, and because this is a brown rice, it's a whole grain rice, it's easy to leave that liquid in the bottom, and the rice isn't going to be mushy like it would be sometimes if you were using a white rice. I think we've got about enough rice in that bowl there. And we're going to garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. And it's ready to serve. Thank you for watching and for clicking that like button as well as subscribing. Go to my website at growwithdrjoannette.com to see this recipe. The full recipe is there, as well as many other delicious recipes, gardening tips, and information about how you can stay healthy, keep your brain healthy, keep your body healthy, and live a long and healthy life. We'll see you next time on the Dr. Joannette channel. Thank you for watching.